right, what's going on? It's Nick from Greystone Copywriting. So we're going to go over how to create a monthly email campaign calendar for your e-commerce brand. So basically, as an e-commerce owner, you likely want to invest more in good email marketing. I mean, who doesn't? But usually just simply don't know what type of content to send, right? So most brands either run into either they don't send enough content to their list or they send exclusively just like discounts and stuff because when you send a promotion, it usually does work, but the more that you send promotions, if you send them too much, the less that they work. So it's an easy cycle to get caught up in. So in this video, we're going to go over the model I use for planning out a campaign calendar that actually does make you money and does not waste your sends and tank your engagement. How many emails you should send per month, how many sale emails, how many emails in total, all the topics that I use to never run out of any ideas. And then I'll kind of do like a little live creation with the real brand to see, so you can see how it works. So model basically goes, you have your non-negotiables. So these are your fixed dates, your product drops if you're having any, if you know something's going to be restocked, if you have like say right now it's almost Christmas. So a lot of brands are sending out, you have to order by this date in order to get your stuff by Christmas, that sort of thing. And then you could put sales in there as well, right? Or well, I guess promos, that's the next one. But so your promos are kind of with your non-negotiables as well. So usually you have maybe 1 to 2 sales a month, usually just one, usually more towards the end of the month, or it doesn't really matter. You just want to be able to send those revenue priming emails ahead of time. Like you want to have a good amount of time between your sale or it's like sending these and your next sale. You don't want to have like 2 sales back to back. So all the, like, you can call them like micro topic emails or revenue prime, it doesn't really matter. These are just emails that are more educational and they're not directly selling. So lock in your fixed dates first. Like I said, so figure out what those are, pull up a calendar, you actually put them on the calendar so you can see where everything lies, and then you can kind of fill in your holes afterwards. So definitely get that done first. And then you want to plan your promo moments. So like we kind of talked about earlier, either like 1 to 2 promos per month, not too many. Won't go over that today. And then each promo should be, between 2 and 3 emails, sometimes 4 emails. So it should take up like about 1 week out of the month, out of the 4 weeks. And then you want to fill up the rest with basically just your filler emails. So these emails do make sales and you do have call to actions in them, but their main goal is just to stay top of mind when someone is ready to buy and then prime them for your next sale. So you think about the customer journey. The customer is on a journey, right? So they start somewhere and then the finish line is checking out, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to happen in the middle. You have to overcome, trust issues, conviction in your product, price. Sometimes just the pain is not enough yet. Think about it in your own life. Whenever you buy something, you're like, you start off kind of wanting it, and then maybe the situation gets worse, or time just goes on. Sometimes you just need more time, and then like 3 weeks later, you end up buying it anyways. You could have bought it 3 weeks ago, and your life would have been better, but sometimes that's just the time it takes for that, that pain or desire to build up. And so that's what we need to do here. Your goal is to try and speed up that process a little bit, right? You want to send emails that increase pain or desire, but nonetheless, you also, like we said, want to stay top of mind. So when they are ready to buy, they open their inbox, you're right there, like every day or every other day, because it's very common in, buyer psychology that whoever is first usually gets chosen. If you ever go to Google and you look something up, even like a local place, for example, usually whoever's at the top, you give your business to, or whoever picks up the phone first, you give your business to. So you always want to be present. All right. So these are micro topics with quick takeaways that the reader can digest, specific topics on your products, your industry, or your processes. So we kind of went over this already, but sending cadence 3 or 4 times a week is pretty good as long as your deliverability is all good. You don't want to mash your deliverability. If your deliverability is bad, focus on that first. So if you're sending 1 email a month, you're just not getting out in front of your list, you'll get lost. So kind of like we said earlier, you're not able to stay top of mind. But with 5 to 7, you risk tiring out your list, losing effectiveness. An example of this is, like I saw this in my inbox the other day. If you've ever like signed up to like Alibaba, for example, is what I was on their website and I put something in my cart and it was like every day I got like 3 emails and I'm like, I'm not opening these. Like they're just not, why it's annoying now, right? You know those brands. And I think that's why email marketing gets a bad rap sometimes because there are those brands that just constantly spam you and it's like always a sale and like, so you want to avoid that. You want to be like, oh, because on the other end, there's people on my email list that I'm like, oh, I look forward to their emails. I'm like waiting for it, and that's where you want to be. So here are all our different topics. So guide to picking out or buying the product, holidays, how it's made, growth updates, single benefit product guide, trending products, Mythbuster, product running low, product comparison. I guess that's up there already, isn't it? Kind of. Day in the life, product feedback, facts. You can read all through all this. I'm not going to read them all. So that is all of those. You can make more than enough emails out of all of those, especially if you have multiple products. And don't be afraid to repeat the same things in your marketing and in your content. It doesn't always have to be something new. Usually you have like a couple core pillars of your products or your industry or whatever that kind of get hit on. Like for example, my own content that I'm making right now, I make it about email flows, campaigns, deliverability, copywriting and design. There's like 4 or 5 things, and honestly, it feels really redundant sometimes to make content about it, but your audience does not see all of the emails that you send, and often they need to be reminded of the things of those core pillars more than they need to be told something new. That makes sense. So don't worry about repeating the same topics or whatever. I mean, obviously, you can resend the same emails. I would maybe space them out by a couple months, but as long as you kind of package the same idea a little bit differently, and sometimes that's all it takes for the message to get through to somebody. Sometimes you just need to say it a little bit differently in the first place. So nonetheless, okay, so let's build something together. So there's this brand Echo. They're a real brand. And we're going to build some stuff for them. All right. So this is them. They sell like a hydrogen water or like water hydrogenators. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyways, supplement type business. So let's go. Go back over here. Whoop. So I usually just go like down the list. I just kind of start at the top and I just kind of go down. And you can kind of pick and choose what kind of things you want to have. So I'm like, guide to picking out the product. All right, we can do that. So, especially if you have multiple products. So let's do this. I'm going to copy this up here. Guide to picking out or buying product. I'm just going to pick a few, and then we'll come back and we'll flesh them out. I'm not going to do holidays because there's almost always a holiday though that you can talk about. How it's made or what's inside. That's a good one for a product like this. It's kind of complicated. we want to teach them about that. I'll probably do a social proof email. Product comparison would be good one because they do have multiple products. You want more clarity. Mythbusters, because I've never heard of a product like this, but until I came across this brand, so I imagine there is quite a few misconceptions. It would be good to go over. And then let's just choose like single benefit. All right. So I would send more emails than this, but I'm just going to go basically over these ones so you get the gist. Also, it would take a while. So, guide to picking out a product. So let's take a look over here. They got a couple different products. In here. So what I would do for this is I would kind of just do like a needs thing. So it would be like I'm just gonna taking off the dome. Basically, depending on what the customer needs, they will need, or I would say a certain product will suit them best. So what I would do is I would probably pick like maybe the top 3 most popular products of theirs, which is probably going to be, where is it? No, not that one. Probably this guy, the Echo Flow, the Flask, and I don't know, maybe the stick packs. So I would list those all out, and then I would list under each of those 3 qualifiers for each of those products. So like, one sec. My computer's dying. If like these 3 things are you, if this meets you, like if you're buying on a budget, if you want benefit 1 and feature 2, buy this one. And you kind of go through, and it makes it super simplistic, especially when you have a lot of products like this, especially if someone's new. It can seem very overwhelming, and so you just want to make it as easy as possible. All right. So that's literally all I would have. I would have those 3. I would maybe have a short intro like, hey, if you're new around here, the world of, I don't know what you would call it. I'm just gonna say blank, hydrogen water, I guess, hydrogen water. Water can seem confusing, so we're here to, so we're gonna help you pick, help you find which product is best for you. That's like super plain, but like obviously you wouldn't actually send it like that. You would spice it up a little bit, but just for the sake of ideation, that's what we would do. All right, we're good. All right, so that's number 1. And I would just have like, I would have a call to action after the intro. I would have the list of products, and then I would have a call to action at the bottom, like shop these or learn more about these even. Next is how it's made and what's inside. So I don't actually know yet how these are made. I don't know if they actually say. Or maybe here, so we swap this one, ditch the how it's made. That is a good one, but I don't know. I don't have that information at the moment for this brand, so maybe we'll just do like an us versus them email. And really all in that email I'd have is maybe a little intro, be like, hey, not all hydrogen water is the same, not all bottles are made the same. here's the difference. Here's what sets us apart. I would use, they already have a nice infographic here, but you can always create one for your brand. Like this, they clearly show all the differences. So give them all the information and let them decide on their own, which people like to do. They don't like to be forced to anything. So we have an us versus them email. I would probably just have one call to action at the bottom, right? Social proof email, you just literally grab some of your best reviews or some of your funniest reviews, or even I've seen some brands use bad reviews. And it's like, if this is you, don't buy our product. So I think Liquid Death does that, which keeps things interesting. It's not boring, right? So, I mean, all of these are pretty self-explanatory. And then you could do the social proof about one specific product. And in fact, I would recommend that. And if you have 5 different products, it's like you can just rotate those every month. You're never going to run out. Same with this single benefit. You have one benefit of one product, and you're never going to run out of those if you have a couple. Or you can do one feature of one product, or stuff like that. Same with the Mythbuster. There's always a ton of misconceptions you can pull from actual reviews. You could actually use a review, which is person was like, oh, I thought this before buying, but actually no. And then that helps back up your rebuttal to whatever the myth is. Product comparison would be great for this brand because they have a bunch of different products, which is actually kind of similar to the guide to picking out. But I would just, in this case, take 2 products, maybe your 2 most popular products, and be like, hey, here's the differences between these 2. So it makes it super clear, because it is very hard to tell a lot of the times with any product. When you're new to it, you're like, oh, I don't know what to buy. What's the difference between this and this? So having that breaking down creates clarity, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can go down. This is actually what I want, so I'm going to go with this. And I just go through that. I do about 12 of them for whatever brand I'm working on. And yeah, it makes it pretty simple. So I'm going to leave a free resource in the description. It's going to be basically just a list of all of the ideas with some more supporting copy to give you. I don't think I have no, I don't have it up right now. But it's a bunch. There's a couple more ideas as well, but with some just more supporting copy underneath to help you out. So I'll have that, and yeah, if you want help with your email marketing, I'll leave all my links in the description. You can book a call or get in touch. Talk to you later.